Episode 15, man. You got a couple dollars.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Porch Podcast theme music. Let's go, E.
Your rhymes is critical. C and E, that's a miracle. Flow is a ritual. One higher living, got a visual mind. In the truth, only spit what I do. Influential spit, sick, bless the mic with the flu.
Come on.
COVID-19, rocking with the dream.
Right.
Triple beam scale on my Libra, oh well.
Woo!
Watch my method bring the pain.
Right.
It's episode 15 called Stay in Your Lane.
Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. This show, baby. Let's go, baby.
It's
Come
the
on.
Porch Podcast.
Come on.
It's the Porch Podcast.
Come on.
It's the Porch Podcast.
Yes, sir.
It's the Porch Podcast. It's the Porch Podcast. It's the Porch Podcast.
Come on.
What? It's the Porch Podcast.
Love it, baby.
It's the Porch Podcast.
Love it, baby.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Episode 15. We doing the damn thing. Let's go.
Episode 15. It's your boy, Mr. Influential, and I am rocking with my brother.
P original. Let's go.
P, what's up, man?
Everything, baby. Everything's up.
I'm feeling real hip-hop-ish.
I can tell.
I was
man.
freestyle a little bit, having fun with
Like
it.
that, man.
You know what I mean? Playing with the verses. I used to rap a little bit.
I remember.
No,
I be Bimber.
Yeah, you remember? Yeah, I be Bember. I used to say that.
I remember that.
What was your first rap name?
Damn, I don't even remember, man. I don't be Bimber.
You don't be Bember?
Might have been Carly D or something, man.
Yeah, Carly D.
Okay.
Carly D.
And you got this thing, man, where you like to bring up shit that I try to bury, man.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's part of my past. Couldn't be
Yeah.
where I am today without it.
Carly D.
Moving right along.
Okay, listen, Carly D. Not my bad. P original.
Yeah, that's where it is, man.
Talk to him.
Hey, man. Got a question.
What's that?
Well, I've been thinking, I tend to do that every day. And I ain't going to say from time to time like some other people do, but I tend to do that all the time. And it made me come up with today's concept, which is going to be like we discussed, staying in your lane.
Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane.
Jot it down a quick note.
All right, let me hear what you got.
Yeah, now I was wondering, like you said, sometimes when I get ready to talk, I get into a certain kind of tone of voice and my energy changes. But I was sitting there and I was thinking, I was like, what's wrong? What's really, really wrong with staying in your lane?
I don't think it's a problem with people. I think we created. Well, no, let me rephrase that.
Okay.
It's a problem. I think a lot of people do like how they drive.
Okay.
They in a rush. So usually when you rush, you switch lanes.
Right.
So if it seems like a lane is moving too slow,
right,
you tend not to stay in it.
Absolutely.
So in life, people don't give business opportunities.
Right. No, you're 100% correct.
Relationships sometimes.
Yep.
Friendships.
Yep.
A chance to blossom.
Yep.
Because they not staying in their lane.
Yeah, they don't understand that. First and foremost, staying in your lane is how can I say? All right, check it out. I don't know everything that you're gonna do in life.
Right.
But if I'm on the outside looking in and I see that you're winning, I may throw away my whole concept of what I want to do because of the fact that I'm looking at you winning, so I want to jump in your lane.
Right.
Because maybe at that point, like you said, my flow ain't moving fast enough.
Absolutely.
And it seemed like, damn, E always pick the right routes at the right time. He don't catch no traffic. Just using your driving as an analogy.
Right.
Driving analogy as an example. I'm sorry.
Right.
So it's like when you really look at it, you start saying to yourself, like I said, damn, what's wrong with staying in your lane?
Yeah, and I think people just pretty much be in a rush. I mean, it takes time for things to grow. It takes time for things to blossom.
Like you said before, everybody can't be first.
No, you can't be first, and that's the problem.
Right.
We are addicted, again, like we talked about in previous episodes. We are addicted to new and being first.
Absolutely.
We like to be what's called exclusive.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just like, remember that that vodka back in the day? name exclusive?
I do. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
I'm pretty sure when they sat there to make the name of that vodka, they was on some. We got that new exclusive. That's what it's called.
That's probably exactly how it developed.
But it didn't last. I'm not saying it's still not out there, but
Right.
it didn't last to be because you want to be unique. You want to be. You don't want to be cliche-ish. You know what I mean? So it's just like me as a DJ when I first picked my name. You know, DJ E was there. Eric, everybody know.
Right,
Eric,
right. I can dig it, yeah.
But the E really stands for influential.
Absolutely.
You
Right.
know what I mean? So
No
that's
doubt,
why
no
it's
doubt.
DJ E, Mr. Influential, all that type of stuff. But I found other influentials in the world because, you know, no ideas originals, nothing new under the sun. But I don't want to sound, my name is not something that you're going to hear all over the place.
True,
You know, not
true.
knocking like rappers nowadays. You got a lot of littles. You got Lil Durk, Lil Baby,
Man.
you know, Lil Wayne, which a person who put imprints on the game. And I'm not saying that they're not staying in the lane,
Yeah.
but I think still with them doing that, they could have been a little bit more unique, but
Right.
they knew what they was doing by following that instead of trying to be first.
I can't understand the little thing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, why would you? I mean, I don't know. You know, I've always thought that most people want to be a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, to each his own. And
Right.
like you said, it's working for them.
Right.
And you know, they staying in their lane. So really, I don't have anything I can really knock them for.
And they being successful.
Right.
They're being successful. And,
Right.
you know, even though that may be their name,
Right.
because a lot of times a name comes from what people call you.
Absolutely.
You know, it's just a nickname that sticks. But however, they stayed in their lane to become successful rap artists.
Absolutely.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just recently watching a new documentary on Biggie Smalls. And his original rap name was MC Quest.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just started calling him Big because he was big.
See what I'm saying?
So,
Right.
you know,
And he ain't fight against it.
nah, but he
Right.
stayed in his lane.
Yeah, nah. You know what? If they listen, we visual. Okay, so as much as you might have wanted to be Quest big, you know,
Yeah.
you were big.
Yeah.
And the first thing they say when you come in the door, they ain't gonna say, "Damn, here come that dude. His name must be Quest."
Yeah.
No, they're gonna be like, "Damn, that's a big ass dude just came in here. His name must be Biggie and shit." Like, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
But it's fine because here's the thing: as opposed to fighting against that, he took advantage
Took
of it.
advantage of it.
Right?
Right.
And so staying in this lane, look, I want to rap. And
Yeah.
if getting you to look at me, to listen to me rap, requires you to be able to look at me and say, I'm big, so you're going to call me Biggie, then hell, I'm Biggie while I can rap.
Right.
You know, my thing, like you were saying before, and it was an excellent point, and I definitely want to touch on that, is I've seen people, even from a relationship perspective,
Right.
things can be going great. They rolling with their boy. They boy going through some stuff. Or they homegirl, depending on the dynamic.
Right.
All of a sudden, they start looking for shit that's like a problem. When it really
Right.
ain't no problem. You be
Right.
like,
Right.
listen, man, you don't want to be in this lane.
Nah.
You know, I look at you, I don't envy you because I don't know what's going on in your household.
Right.
But this ain't no lane you don't want to take this ride.
Nah.
It's funny because people are so accustomed to looking at what they think looks better
Right.
that they'll jump right out of a good situation into something negative
To the swamp.
for nothing. Yeah.
Right. Right.
They'll drive right off the road.
They ain't staying in their lane.
They ain't staying in their
Swerve
lane.
too hard.
Yeah. You know, the whole time, you know, your homeboy looking at you like, you know, or your homegirl, whatever, they looking at you like, hey. If the shit wasn't sounding right, I could have got it and fixed it myself.
Nobody seen it. You
No,
make it
hell
away.
no. Turn nothing towards my mouth, man. Like I was saying. The point of the matter is that if you ain't
Don't
got
point
no
nothing
problems,
in your face.
definitely, that's a major damn point. But the problem is, if you don't have a problem, don't get a problem.
Right. Basically, what you're saying is, if it's good, keep going. And you know, a lot of times we came up, you know, the title Stay in Your Lane talks about a lot about when we was young. Okay, like when we were young, I remember people used to say stupid stuff when you was, you know, young dating. Y'all had an argument yet?
Yeah.
No. Well, if y'all ain't had no argument, yeah, y'all been dealing with each other for a year. Y'all really don't care about each other. That is the dumbest shit
Yeah.
that I may have heard.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it is.
Then because you trying to force some issues on there.
Yeah.
Now, granted, the wording makes. I see where they're trying to go with it. It basically said what they should have said. Y'all didn't have argument yet. Okay, that's good, but a relationship is as strong as their problems because you got to see how you get through bad times. I'm not saying force bad times.
Hell no.
But in living, bad times will come, and how do you conquer it? That's what should have really been discussed.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just like I tell people all the time. I talk about this all the time. You remember back in the day, hey, what you don't know won't hurt you. It absolutely will.
Yeah.
Because you can't turn around and tell a bitch one day, knowledge is power.
Yeah.
But then you say what you don't know won't hurt you.
Yeah.
So being ignorant, meaning the act of not knowing, will really put you in a bad predicament. That's that. But staying in we used to listen to that and try to stay in our lane with those type of situations. But sometimes you do have to swerve. Now I think the strongest way of staying in your lane is like business, no plan B. Right,
absolutely.
Like we always talk about.
Right.
Don't run from it where you had your first because of relationship. You got to realize you got a relationship with whatever you're doing.
You got to have it. That's exactly the way you got to approach it.
Yeah, you got to have a relationship with whatever you're doing.
Yep.
So when you run into the problem, I just made the statement, we're as strong, your relationship is strong as your problems.
Yeah.
So how you conquer it.
Right.
But because we talk about not having a plan B and having a risk management plan, you're still staying in your lane while you're doing it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what it is.
Yeah, help build character.
Right.
You know, a lot of times the things, it's not about you going to look for issues or trial, but the reality of it, like we say, we got to include that. You have to have it as part of the process because it's only a surprising thing when you think it can't happen.
Right.
When you acknowledge the fact that it's a part of it, then it can. Staying in your lane, like you said, you know, the ability to be able to master what you are setting out to do.
Right.
That's the main meat and potatoes of staying in your lane.
Right.
It has nothing to do with not wanting to see a person progress. Right. See, if I look at you and you look at me and we both winning, nobody cares what path we take.
Right. Because we winning.
Because we're winning.
Right.
And that's the difference. And because we've made a conscientious decision that we're going to what? Stay in our lane.
Stay in our lane and win.
And win.
But
that's the difference.
But here's the thing. Like I explained to everybody.
Right.
When you change your mind about winning.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And realize, listen, Jay-Z said, what did he say? Repeat after me. I will not lose.
Right.
Okay. Basically, what he was telling you is he looked at it the way we talk about looking at it. You never lose.
Right.
You learn a lesson.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, he said in another song, a valuable lesson learned so it evens up for me. Even when he felt like he lost in a battle. You see what I'm saying? But it evens up for me. Now, when you look at this man, he's now a billionaire because he took every loss as a lesson.
Right.
Right?
Right.
That's part of staying in your lane.
Right.
Just because he had a bad day or may have took an L in some area, it didn't deter him away from being a businessman. We know that he could rap, but we always realized that later on his goal was to be a businessman.
Absolutely.
And he did that.
Right.
So it's just like the same thing. I was talking about Robert Kiyosaki. Okay, he's the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. Right? Now, if you watch videos on him, he talks about looking at debt in a different way. See, we automatically feel like debt is a bad thing.
Right.
But rich people don't look at debt as being a bad thing. And I'm saying all this because wealthy people still stay in their lane even when they're wealthy. Right?
Right.
That's how they became wealthy. But with their mind frame, to stay in your lane, you need to change your mind on how you see things. So what Robert Kiyosaki was saying is this. All debt is not bad. He bought a condo in Maui, right? The condo was $18,000, right? They wanted $2,000 down as a down payment. He didn't use $2,000 cash. He took $2,000, put it down on the condo with his credit card.
Right.
from day one, he was making a $25 profit. So because he put down $2,000, he started making $25 off the $2,000. Now I know everybody's looking like $2,000 only bring you back $25 a month, okay? But once that $2,000 is paid off, he's still going to have the $25 a month. Not also talking about how the property he owns the property and the value is going to change. But he ain't big, but he approached it different by looking at debt different. Mm-hmm. He still had his cash to do what he want and then everything. Mm-hmm. You know, I was reading a book before when he was talking about how Jay-Z and Beyonce bought a house by pulling equity out of their house, which a lot of real estate people do that. They buy a house at an auction. Let's say they buy a house in an auction for $10,000. It's worth $60,000. They'll pull $50,000 out worth of equity, and turn around and buy 5 more for $10,000 in the auction. Now they got 6 properties with 1 mortgage. They turn around and sell that first house that they pulled the mortgage out on. Now they got 5 properties with no mortgage. Okay. Because the way they approach the debt. But the whole time, I'm saying all this to say, their mind frame was switched, but they never left their lane. So staying in your lane is very important. I think people don't stay in their lane because they don't stay focused, or they look at it with the same approach. Every game is different. We can't play spades with the heart's rules. We can't play basketball with football rules. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You just got to learn your game.
Yeah,
man.
I think that part of it is like even when you actually driving, just using actual driving like you did earlier as an analogy.
Right.
When you driving, they tell you to do what? Keep your eyes on the road.
Right.
In front of you.
Right. Right.
You know,
right.
you do.
Right. I already see where you're going.
You know what I mean? So you do have mirrors. Okay. You got to use your mirrors. You got to look around because from time to time things may occur and you may have to
still got to check your surroundings.
Always.
Right.
You got to defensively drive. Right. You know, as you're driving, you know, even though you're focused on your direction and your road, you got to be aware that somebody next to you might be swerving, trying to come into your lane.
Right.
Now, it's not about you trying to hurt them or whatever the case may be like that, but it's more or less a situation with you identifying the fact that, you know, they're not paying attention to what they're doing.
Absolutely.
So it's imperative for you to stay in your lane because of the fact that you can't get to where you really want to go at the rate that you want to go unless you do so. And the problem with a lot of those things that we're talking about with different people is like, for some reason, they have a great concept. They're passionate about it. They have every reason to do it.
Right.
And they turn right around and they look to the right or look to the left and they see somebody who's looking like they're moving a little faster. You know, they in and out. Yeah. Now, mind you, you know, they might be driving a minivan, nothing against them.
Right.
But the person that they're looking at is driving a Maserati. Well, yeah. I don't think it matters what lane they're in.
Right.
Because they're going to move a little bit differently than you anyway. But here's the difference.
Right.
If you stay focused on where you're going, you're still going to get to where you got to get to.
Right. Right.
And that's the thing.
You just coming in different style, but you still coming.
In different style, and you're going to get there at the rate and the time and the speed and all those things that you're supposed to.
Right.
It's just one of those things. There's nothing wrong with staying in your lane because if you can master your lane, like we talked about before, about being in a pool full of sharks. Yeah. You know, the ability, you know, you wouldn't jump into a pool if you couldn't swim at all, right. Whether sharks were in it or not, right?
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Right.
You would at least come into the shallow lane. To the shallow end of the pool. Because at least you can stand up.
Right.
Now, you're not going to look around and see the guy that's an Olympic diver, Olympic swimmer, and watch him go to the deep end.
What was it, Michael Phelps?
Right, Michael Phelps, and he jumps into the deep end, and you know what he's capable of. Mm-hmm. Now, you look at how the crowd going crazy and everybody love him and they on him and all that.
Like the Rodney Dangerfield movie. What was it? Back to School? Remember
Back to School, exactly. Exactly. I forget
the dive. What do you call it? Triple dip. I don't know what it was, man. Yeah, that was.
Triple. Damn, yo, to come back. I forgot right now.
Yeah, he's had that dumb ass face be like this.
Yeah. But the point in that is that you wouldn't look at him,
right?
Whatever the name of that dive was, or Michael Phelps, or any of those Olympic people, and say, "Look, I know I can't swim, or I'm doggy paddling at best,
right?"
And jump your ass in the deep end, thinking that you can compete, let alone survive,
right?
Because you might go down there and drown. That's why it's imperative to learn your lane and just stay in it,
right?
It's okay. Learn things at your own pace. You know what I mean? Take your time and understand that you may be one of the people that don't never make it to that deep end.
Like the great Nipsey Hussle. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Right.
And that's what he used to always pretty much say. Like if he was still, may he rest in peace, if he was still here, he would be doing everything he planned, but at the pace that it has to go.
Absolutely.
And that's all part of staying in your lane.
Yeah. Just recognize it. Just it's not. It's first off, the seed had already been planted.
Right.
Because passion comes along with, like love and interest and all of these different things. Right. So if all those things though that are intricate in growth and development and success are already in place, why would you switch up the lane and try to do something different? It just doesn't make sense. For a person that turns around and I don't care if you're whatever you are, a carpenter, a painter, whether it's you can really do some dumb shit. I'm looking in your face. They say, I don't even know what it is.
What are you talking about?
But whatever's getting ready to happen, y'all. He was ready. He couldn't wait. There's some goofy shit getting ready to happen. I know it. So.
Whoa! I'm just talking to you, man.
No, it's okay. So you didn't do it yet, but when it comes, I'm just gonna go. And I told y'all. So anyway, the point in the matter is like I was saying.
You said a carpenter.
I don't care if you're a painter, or I can keep my shit.
Yeah, carpenter,
a painter, or any of those things.
What about a magician?
If you're gonna do it, man, you gotta be. Like,
I'm just saying. What about Merlin? Did he go to trade school?
Yeah. Merlin used to be slow. Magic saved his life.
All I want to know, or what was you saying about the carpenters and the painters and all that? What you saying?
Well, the carpenters and painters, whatever that thing that you're passionate about, you already had it there. Just focus on that. That's your lane.
Like Petey.
Damn dog walker.
He's a dog walker.
You know how you know he liked to walk dogs?
Yeah.
Got bit by like 5 of them. Chewed his ass up one day. And he said, I'll walk him from now on. Man,
you know what, man?
You make me act silly.
You know what I was thinking about? A good business we can get into?
What?
Moving people back from Atlanta. Because after we talked about that day, right? When you broke it down and explained. This is what it's called. Weird grief counseling.
Weird grief?
Yeah, because he said his mom, what did he say? My mom said
it was weird.
It said it was weird.
Yeah, he stayed in his lane all the way back from Georgia. Up 95, 85 and 95.
I remember I got in an accident driving back from Atlanta one time.
We ain't gonna do that.
Monte Carlo.
I'm glad you lived, man. We ain't gonna do that shit.
Nah, somebody didn't know how to drive. They hit my car.
Staying in your lane, y'all.
That's my point. They didn't stay in the lane.
Oh, you absolutely
That's
right.
what I'm going with it. Yeah.
No, you're right.
Damn.
Right. No, it's one of those things where, you'll have a greater chance of succeeding when you turn around and you realize what you're passionate about. You just stick with it. Don't worry about you right, man. Don't worry about being first, man.
You can't.
Sometimes you rush into things and you find out, man. They say, that fall from grace.
That fall from grace.
It's hard.
Speaking of which, remember the movie Fall from Grace? Tyler Perry had recently?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And all the wigs was messed up.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out. This ain't got nothing to do with. I guess whoever the what would they be called? The costume, I guess, they must not have stayed in a lane the way those wigs was changing within the scene.
I mean, you talking about the stylist?
Yeah, that could be it. Shit, I don't know what they call them.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, well, everybody got an off day, man. Everybody got an off day.
Can't have an off day in a multi-million-dollar project.
You gonna pay for it. That's the thing. They stay in their lane, and they had to pay for it.
The stylist is now dog walker with Petey. I'll tell you that now.
So I'm gonna ask my question again. Like we answering it, but I really want to know. What? Like All right, just attach it to the people who really don't take the time to, I don't know, really think about it. Like they really consistently change their mind all the time. They can't stay consistent on anything. What do you think pops in their mind that makes it so difficult for them to stay in their lane?
I think that's a lack of patience. Patience. Patience is a real virtue. I'm not even talking about as far as watching the situation develop. You have to, or also it could be a person searching for their calling, for their purpose. So we like to use the word calling and purpose. And when I used to go to church a lot, they used to preach about purpose. Pastor Dan used to preach about purpose. When you find it, you feel it. But the problem is a lot of people keep thinking they feeling their purpose. And it's just excitement.
Right. Oh, okay.
It's just something new.
Right.
So it's like, because again, my theory of they're addicted to new or wanting to be first. It's like this. Recently, I've been studying the stock market a lot. And the reason why I study stock market, people, the entrepreneurs, we talk about motivation, we talk about investing at times. The stock market is probably, as we know, one of the oldest ways to invest money in the world.
Okay, that's right.
So I've been learning about it. And a lot of people want to learn about the stock market, but I think what runs them away is they don't have the patience to understand the lingo. You know what I mean? Become stock literate to understand what's being said when they're talking about buying a strike or a call price or a put. Like, they don't understand. A lot of people don't understand that. It sounds like I know a whole lot about it, but I'm just learning these things. You see what I'm saying? However, what I did understand, what I am noticing that is it's another game that takes patience.
Yeah.
It's another game but it is successful when you learn it. So I think people, when they get into the stock market, they all want that Amazon effect. They all want that Google effect. They want that overnight success. We all look for that lotto bang with everything we do.
Right.
Yet we don't look like that when we go to a regular 9 to 5 every day.
Right.
But we look for this big thing to happen overnight when most of your people that are successful in the stock market have been doing it for years.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like when I tell people a lot of time when I was DJing, my rate when I first started, I was getting paid like $50 a night. Somebody look at me saying, I'm going to pay you $50 an hour to DJ. I'm going to look at you like you crazy now. But I got there from constantly doing it and staying patient, staying in my lane. I believe that my purpose in my lane was always for me to be in a form of entertainment.
Absolutely.
So whether it's a podcast, whether it's me DJing,
right,
whether it's I done did comedy a couple times, I feel like when I'm entertaining, that's part of my purpose. Because people that are entertainers, we always look at entertainers as having a voice. And it's just like you. You do a lot of motivational speaking things, and you enjoy what you do.
Absolutely.
Now, you're not even necessarily saying that you're supposed to be a motivational speaker. I never heard you say that.
Right.
However, what I've always heard you say was, man, it's just something I need to share with y'all. It was dropped on me, and I had to put it out there.
That's absolutely the
truth.
So,
at the same time, that was your purpose.
Absolutely, yeah. I it's funny. I went to my daughter's school and I read a couple times, and I really enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? I looked at the kids, man, and they were, because you know me, I'm gonna get in the character.
Right.
If I'm supposed to be the person who is, the monster guy, I'm gonna get into the monster guy's character. Right. I mean, I did that, and actually it was crazy because it started with like Dr. Seuss week or something like that.
Right. Oh yeah, I remember that. Every school was doing that for a while.
Remember that?
They was green eggs and ham.
Right.
They had the hats. I remember that.
So I wound up, I was like,
this was for Link or was this for
No, this was for my mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I don't think I did it for like.
Yeah, but it's been going on for a long time.
Yeah,
right.
So
I remember that.
I signed up. I went or whatever, and I read. You know what I'm saying? And I did it again. You know, the teacher asked me when I come back.
Right.
And before you knew it, what I really enjoyed more than anything else is even what I don't care if it was a cloudy with a chance of meatballs or whatever it was that I had to read to him.
Yeah.
I got in the character.
Right.
And the look on my mom's face to be like, yo, that's my dad.
That's my
doing
dad
it.
right there.
You know what I mean? Yo, that was dope for me. You know what I mean? So that's when it kind of, I think stuff started going like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, P, you can do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can really talk to people, man. And, what I did professionally for years, and that, my line of work and everything, I met a lot of people, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Same thing with me, right?
I met a lot of people, and I stayed. Once I realized who I was involved in that dynamic, and I stayed in my lane of who it was, I mastered that.
Right.
And once I was able to do that, then I was able to take that same ability that I mastered there and put it on the outside and use it in other arenas.
Right.
And so now, like you said, you'll see me. I pop, thought come in my mind. I hit the phone now because they make life so easy for you in that regard.
Right.
I hit record and I start talking, and I always feel so much like, yo, I need to say this.
Yeah.
Not that I'm this, master shrink doctor or anything like that, but I think everybody has something valuable to share with people.
They do.
And that's the difference. And I just stay in my lane of what I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
And I think once I got to that part, man, my mind was at such a different peace and place, bro.
Right.
Like, it became a natural thing for me to do that.
Right.
And that's just, to me, that's one of the perks and benefits, which is what led me to the question.
Yeah.
What's really wrong with staying in your lane?
Well, some people, but that, to really, really, really now, listening to what you're saying, what I just said, and what we've been talking about for this, first half hour so far.
Yeah.
People don't know what it is. They can't stay in it because they don't know what it is.
And maybe that's it.
When you find
maybe
it,
once you identify with
you're
it, then
gonna
it's
stay
like,
in
all right,
it.
I got it.
That's what it is.
That's probably what it is.
And some people find it more than others. I mean, earlier than others. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
How many times have you heard a person say, man, if I knew what I knew then, what I know now back then, man, shit, that's how they be. Mm-hmm. But it might have been right there in your face all the time. See, I knew that I was supposed to become a DJ, and I always said this. I said, DJing is going to be how I become known. Mm-hmm. However, it's going to be more, I'm going to do more with that. It's like this. We respect Jay-Z as a businessman because he was Jay-Z the rapper. Right. Nobody really pays attention to Sean the businessman. We do, but we don't call him Sean Carter the businessman. Right. You see what I'm saying? Uh-huh. And that's why I'm using him for an example like that. But I knew becoming DJ would help people to, oh, that's DJ that's E, that's cool. You know what I mean? Hey, man, let me get the music. And then I learned that every position that I hold, I embrace. Mm-hmm. The waterman, Mr. Clip, you know what I mean? All that, I embrace it because I know that I need that for a second. For example, we look in the Bible, okay? Peter was one of the 12 disciples. He was a tent maker. But technically, he wrote about 2/3 of the Bible. That was really his purpose. But the tent maker paid his bills. They still know him as the tent maker.
Exactly.
Right. They still know me as the clip man. Yeah, that's him. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But my purpose is still sometimes to come over here and do Porch podcast.
Yeah.
Mr. Influential. It all aligns. It all in the same lane.
Right.
A form of entertainment. I know that whether I'm in behind the scenes and I'm actually editing things, or I know that I'm supposed to be involved. You my brother. You've been around me my whole life.
Absolutely.
So like when we was first episode, I'm sitting here, I'm trying to figure out this wire, and I'm trying to. You said I was never worried,
and I really wasn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Another person who do just like that. It's DK. I mean, we done did so many things together. He would turn around, I'd be like, man, that ain't right, man. Like, nah, bro. And I'm telling you, bro, it ain't right. And I'd be like, hold up.
Talking about DK.
Right.
Talking about this DK.
Yeah, do it again.
Talking about this DK
Yeah,
right
always chasing the game.
That's always chasing the
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
Chasing the bag,
Shout out
chasing the game.
to my brother, man. Shout out to my brother, man. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Shout out to him. But he always look and say, I ain't even worried. Party start at 7. It's 6:53. I gotta get this right, man. Hold on. 6:57. I just look over there. I wasn't never worried. And it always works out for me. And I ain't nothing but God because that's where I'm supposed to be. That's the things I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You mastered it.
Yeah.
True mastering is understanding that there's always something else to learn.
Right.
I know that sounds crazy because most people will say, well, if you're a master, don't you know everything? No, absolutely not.
Nah.
You master thought first.
Right.
Thought is what you need to master.
Right.
The ability to do something and the skill set that comes along with it evolves.
Right.
That's why new tools come out, new cars come out, new equipment come out.
Right.
Because it's supposed to evolve that way.
Right.
So your mind is supposed to too. So what you got to actually master is your thought.
I remember our mother used to tell us that our dad was a hell of a mechanic.
Yeah.
Right? And then I talked to Pop, and Pop always, that's how, beat on it. Get under the car.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's so funny because he said to me years ago, yeah, I used to be good with my cars, man, but I got away with it when once the computers and stuff got all involved. Mm-hmm. Yet he knew about that electric fuel pump to beat on it on the tank. Right where the head. Beat on the tank. But
Right.
beat on the gas tank to start the car.
Still not weird.
But you have
On the way. It's on the way to Weirdham.
But have you ever
On the way to Weirdsville.
have you ever noticed that he knew what was wrong?
Yeah.
Even though he ain't stay with it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes I don't think Dad's purpose was to deal with cars. He lived in his purpose.
Yeah.
Our Pop retired as an engineer. And he used to know how to make a lot of decisions on the fly.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which an engineer,
Right.
that's what they should do.
Yeah.
But he got successful and been that way because he what?
Yeah.
Stayed in his lane.
Stay in his lane. Yeah. Listen, man. Everything that is successful starts with a thought.
Right.
Right?
If you can believe it, you can achieve it.
That's where those cliches come from.
Right.
Everything that is eventually mastered started with a thought. The hell was that?
Y'all gotta be still, man. Y'all gotta be still. Y'all can't be. Don't be over there.
Yeah, we over here talking about thought and shit snapping and popping.
No, y'all gotta be still. That's not. Every time they come in the studio, they be on some bullshit.
That's when I have to start keeping them out. Everything
What the?
that is mastered started with a thought.
What the fuck was that?
And the point in that matter is that even though Pop grew in his success in his career, his thought process never changed.
Right.
Which never changed in the sense that the basic fundamental foundation of it. It had to change because his responsibilities changed.
Right.
You know what I mean? He went from being the guy who turned the screwdriver and the wrench to the guy who gave that guy the information to go and do it.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? Like, he had to evolve into that. We talking about the captain's hat.
Yeah.
He had to kind of develop into that.
Captain?
But that's right. But he stayed in his lane of what he did. And that's why I said, but like if you talk to Pop a lot of times, he'll tell you all the time, man, I did what I love to do.
Right.
And that's why I say to people, once again, even just reiterating the question, like I keep saying over and over, what's wrong with staying in your lane? Because it belongs to you. I want you to claim something, right? Mm-hmm. I tell people, anybody who's watching this, do yourself a favor. Claim your lane.
Right.
If you claim it, you've already started the basic foundation, fundamental foundation of developing whatever your success is going to be, right?
Right.
So first thing you want to do is claim your lane.
Right.
Then, like I said, you want to start to visualize yourself into the success lane of that situation, into a motion that's already got you doing it, right? Then I want you to learn along the way that there may be some detours. There may be a few roads that's under construction.
Right.
There may be a little bit of rerouting. but stay in the lane.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you, as long as you stay in that lane, moving forward,
Mm-hmm.
then success will eventually come.
Right.
Like I said, you have to master thought first.
Right.
Then action will come into play. If you can see yourself, and I say we talk about it all the time, you swimming, for an example. You can come into a dynamic where you got two people that don't know how to swim.
Mm-hmm.
They both tell them they go to swim class or whatever, and they tell them to get in the shallow end of the pool. First thing they want to do is change their thought process of water.
Right.
They say, put your face in the water. Get your face wet.
Mm-hmm.
See how you feel. Don't try to breathe. Learn how to hold your breath for a certain amount of time.
Right.
Learn how to be able to, breathe a certain type of way. Move your arms in a certain motion.
Right.
Kick your feet in a certain way. They tell you to hold on the side of the pool. You see your feet going a certain way. The people who learn that and begin to lose that thought of fear
Mm-hmm.
and master the ability to wait. It's fundamentally in my mind. If I can see myself or visualize myself swimming and I continue to work these techniques, then eventually I'll start swimming.
Right.
Because fear will leave.
Right.
Now, for the person who holds on to that fear, looks around and sees the person with floaties on,
Right. Some I did.
or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
those people are holding on to the fear.
Like we said when on the previous episode, where Will Smith talked about how all our things we look for in life are on the other side of fear.
Right.
Everything we look for.
And that's why I keep wanting to reiterate about staying in your lane is it all begins with thought.
Right.
Stay in it.
Right. Stay in. That's the lane. The road is your mind.
That's the lane.
That's what we going with it. Yeah.
You're born with the lane.
Right.
That's why I say, first off, claim the lane.
And it also, if you really think back, people, even religious people and everybody, and I know I talk about religion here and there, but they always say God orders your steps, right? But I need for people to understand, if you're a Christian,
Mhm.
God is your brain, Jesus is your heart.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Muslim, Allah is your brain, Muhammad's your heart.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it is.
Okay.
If you look at the story, that's how I look at it. If you're a 5%er, you got knowledge yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You already know how to stay in your lane because knowledge, you going off what you know and what you going to move on.
Absolutely.
Right.
Right.
So to say all that, everything that we're basically breaking down and making people realize and understand is, can't nobody knock you out the lane but yourself.
That's it.
That's it. Don't blame the people at the job. Don't blame, because you're allowed it. And don't get it wrong, we human. I recently had to get back on my D.
Mm-hmm.
I was knocked off my square for a second.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm man enough to say that I jumped back in that lane. Now I'm full speed, cruising.
Absolutely.
Last week, me and you, we gonna just sit and eat wings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We still was in
Who
our
put
lane.
up, G? We had to watch some funny stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We was
Funny-
chilling. We was still in our lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah. You're
what I
absolutely
mean?
right. Nah, I dig it. Go ahead.
Right.
Yeah,
But basically what I'm saying is, once a person understands how to stay in their lane,
absolutely.
they shouldn't fall up out of it. Unless you're Petey. Because dog walking season might not be real strong in the winter. Not the winter.
No. Listen, we crack jokes about Petey, but the reality of it is Petey at least chose to stay in the lane of what he loved. You know what I mean? We use him as an example.
How many dogs you got bit by?
At least 5. Hard. The last one bit him so hard he ain't even bleed no more. Shit. That one right there. At least 5 dogs, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but it's one of them things where Petey got, now that I got to think about it, hold up. Petey got bit so many times, he got treats tattooed on his hand. They was biting the shit out of his hand so much, he just figured his hand must be a treat. So He's stupid, man. Leave me alone with that theory.
Listen, with Merlin, I'm gonna tell you how Merlin retired from being a magician.
No, hell.
He retired. No, he tried. You know that trick when they cut people in half? He tried it with a teddy bear. Cotton was all over the mother.
They found out Merlin was slow, man. They found out he was slow. They caught him. They caught him at the store trying to check the expiration date on plastic spoons and forks and shit, and checking out paper plates. See when they expire. Nah, man. Listen, man.
Yeah, P blew up the studio earlier, y'all too. But we gonna go on past that.
Yeah, we survived it. No, I think once again you hit the nail on the head when you said that people kind of look at it and it's a patience thing.
Yeah.
Patience, like you said, is a virtue.
Right.
But it also is a situation that takes time to develop for some people.
Right.
And then some people are just born with the ability to just put blinders on and block out the noise.
Right. Right. I had to get back to that. You know, Mr. Orwell was the king of
always
that.
called, it's called Orwell. But Orwell, like, let me clarify that though.
Yeah.
The Orwell with you was never that you did not care. It's a difference. The Orwell with you was like, there is a outcome.
Yeah.
And it may not be the one that you're necessarily in love with. So when I say Orwell, there was always a possibility that this could be this way.
Right.
In that sense. Now, it's different. There's some other Orwell, some old other, like, I don't care if it never worked. Yeah. That's not the same. But the point in the situation is, in terms of the patience thing, just to kind of reiterate those things, is people, like you said before, they can always see the end.
Right.
For some reason, I don't know why, but the clarity is very much of the end is very much always in focus.
Right.
And so when you look and you say to yourself, like, for instance, you can see yourself going to the store and buying some Mega Million tickets and winning the lottery.
Right.
That's always clear. Like the goal is always very, very clear. The only thing that seems to be very difficult to come into focus for most of the people who don't have patience or do not stay in their lane is the transition or the road that it takes to get there.
My name is G-Rap. I'm on the road to the riches.
Like clockwork, man. Dumb shit was coming. So, you know what I mean? You over here like on some Dame time shit. It's him. So anyway, the point in that situation is staying in your lane. This song dope as hell too, but go ahead. It is. Yeah. Staying in the lane is...
Shout out to Dame.
If you ever just figured it out, what that is, like I said, claim it in your mind first.
Right.
Okay? Master thought. Think about the fact that it's going to be work involved to get it.
Right.
You won't want to be in another lane.
No, you won't.
You won't even be interested in another lane.
No, you won't.
You won't have a desire to even wonder what's going on in another lane because you're so committed to what it is it's going to take to get to the end of that one.
It's funny that you say that. I've been your brother your whole life.
Yeah.
My whole life, anyway.
Both of them. Right. My whole life too.
It's funny that you say that, but basically,
yeah,
you're very committed about this. You were very committed about this. Mm-hmm. Very, very committed about this. Mm-hmm. And look at the success that we're having.
Yeah. I want to say this. I want to say that, once again, I recognize the whole stand in the lane thing is just one part of it. It also takes, sometimes in life when you go through different things and you wind up in a position where things are just all of a sudden, how can I say, changed without you having anything to do with it, it becomes a situation where you start to evaluate everything. Literally. You evaluate how you interact with people. You evaluate where you put your time at. You evaluate your energy. You evaluate all of those things differently. And you come to the grips that you're exactly where you were supposed to be at that moment.
Right.
You're exactly where you're supposed to be at that moment. So you go through these different phases, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you first, all right, so if it's a situation that is beyond your control that has changed, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look around and the first thing you do, not everybody, but some people, you feel a little bit of pity. Damn, what I'm going to do? I got to hit the reset on life. I don't know what's coming next.
Right.
And then when you realize that you wasn't actually that far from the bottom in the first damn place, you start to say,
Oh man.
well, it probably ain't going to take much to get at least even to where I was.
Right.
And then as you begin to develop and grow in that regard, you start to master the ability to understand that, wait, I can do this.
Right.
This can be it.
Mental is everything.
Right. Which is why I say you got to master thought.
Right.
And once you start to win in your head, everything that you do becomes fuel. Because you need fuel to drive a car and stay in the lane and go wherever you're going.
Right.
Everything becomes fuel. And now, like in my case, you want to look around and say, hey, I can't drive your car in that lane for you. You know what I mean? But be careful, man. It looked like something might be ahead up there. Something ahead of the road. Be careful.
Right.
Or if I turn around and I tell my child that's getting ready to start to drive, I look back at them and say, or, we have a conversation and I say, listen, when you get ready to get on the road, give yourself some time. You're a new driver. There's a lot of things that's going to pop up and maybe you can't adjust as quickly as somebody who's an experienced driver. As time goes on, they'll start to learn their own ways to be able to travel and move and do the things that they need to do.
Absolutely. And then what you're supposed to do is in a lot of these things, you're supposed to create your own lifestyle, your own code of ethics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I say it all the time, my 9 to 5, what it definitely did for me is create a strong work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, from habit and things that we want to do and everything that we want to do, we create discipline. And discipline ties in straight to ethics, and discipline and ethics ties into staying in your lane because it helps keep your mental right.
That's right.
Where you want to go and what you want to be, you know that you have to follow a different thing. Like, again, we always talk about, when a person wants to lose weight, they got to win that battle in their mind first. But once they do it, how many times have you lost weight and then found it?
That's what I'm saying.
The key is to lose it and keep it off.
Because you're not mastering. The thought process that goes into it is, first off, if you're starting off with the mentality of losing anything, then you're already starting from the wrong perspective.
Right.
The terminology's wrong.
Right.
As opposed to saying, I want to lose weight, you're supposed to say, I want to gain health.
Right.
As opposed to saying, I want to, you know what I mean? I want to trim up. As opposed to saying, I want to trim up because I want to, I want to stun on people. It should be more or less like, look, man, I feel much better when I'm lighter.
Same thing, same way I felt when I said, you know what? I want to learn how to really just disappear. So I became Merlin.
Like a little ahead of schedule that time. Shit. He's here. So, nah, but I get you. It's one of those things, man, where you understand it. Once you get it, it's just an amazing feeling.
Right.
Right? Like,
that's like learning purpose. Once you find your purpose.
Yeah, like
right.
once you recognize, like once it becomes clear, oh man, you'll lose track of the day. Like, bruh, it's times where I be in thought, man, just thinking about things that we gonna chop it up and discuss on the show, or it may be some things that I want to, put together so I can, build on it for the family.
Right.
Bruh, like, I'll wake up like, let's go. You know what I mean? Like it's always Christmas morning.
Right.
I wake up like that. And it had been a while, bruh. It had been a while. Like I was on kind of like autopilot.
Right.
Nothing against it. I'm just saying in terms of understanding the ability to stay in the lane requires you to have vision and also be able to master thought first.
Right.
Once you master it, man, it's like refreshing, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the feeling it's going to be when we finally get out of this pandemic situation.
Oh.
It's gonna be.
It's almost over, y'all.
You know, it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be just so much more of an appreciation of the simplest things. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care what it is that you want to do in life. The foundation of it is usually not as complicated as we make it.
Mm-hmm.
It only becomes complicated when we try to do it all at once.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you simplify things and be like, look, I'm going to accomplish this on Monday. Then I'm going to knock this out on Tuesday. We're going to give this a shot on Wednesday. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. When you do that, that's how you build it. Like you said, we're on episode 15.
Right.
We never discussed when we started doing this how many we going to do. We didn't. It wasn't a thought. It was let's master what we want to do.
Right.
And staying in your lane, since that's what we're talking about. It was never a situation where it was like, okay, we're going to research and see how everybody else is doing whatever they doing. And then we going, try to make a carbon copy or something like that and just see. No, it was never that. It was the fact that we're going to hit record.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to hit record.
Right.
And we're going to talk to our people. And we're going to share our thoughts, our opinions. We're going to share our, perspective on all of these different things. And we really, literally just said, and that's going to be the lane.
Right.
And that's all we did.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right.
So, like, I want to say, man, like, it's cool to stay in your lane, man.
Right. No, it is.
It's pretty cool. Right. Like I said, the dopest part about it is it's yours. You just got to claim it. It's yours. It's literally like you'll have a harder time coming to get my lane. Or come get your lane, E. Like, damn, you got one. Yeah. I don't want you as famous.
Yeah, but that's just some people's goal, man. With that being said, man, I am Mr. Influential, and I'm going to stay in my lane.
I'm P Original, and I'm comfortable in mine over here.
And this is the Porch Podcast. What about Merlin and Petey? They definitely comfortable in their lane.
Yeah, well, they ain't got too much competition in it, especially Pete.
Pete.
There ain't too many people trying to jump in front of him.
Petey a millionaire off them dogs, too.
Absolutely.
Listen, it's the Porch Podcast, man. We love y'all,
right
man.
Before we get ready to go, though, I want to say shout out to everybody, man, who've been supporting, the Porch Podcast, these hoodies and all that kind of stuff, man. Listen, we all grew up on the porch, man. We all grew up on the porch. You know what I mean? So when I see that, man, that's love, and I appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all.
Right.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Like I said, always, man, keep looking at us on YouTube. Keep checking it out on
Spotify.
Spotify. Yeah, Spotify. You know what I mean? Amazon Music.
Google.
You know what I mean? Overcast.
Yeah.
iHeartRadio. All of these different platforms that you guys been getting it from. Mm-hmm. We appreciate it. Please keep rocking with us. We love y'all. Look forward to seeing y'all next one, man.
We gone.
Peace.